First of all,
I
do you
think
guys,
personally, if you
relate with
hold
sort
any
of
beliefs,
religion? Do you rationalize religion in your own life and make sense of it?
Oh, today we're going up to King George Square in Brisbane CBD just to ask people just general questions about religion and how they feel about religion these days, particularly rationalizing religion. So does it make sense to them? Do they think science collides with religion? That type of thing. So yeah, let's see what response we can get.
Do you think that religion has to make sense to someone who follows it for them to like properly believe in it? Like, does it have to make sense to the believer, or is it better to just blindly follow whatever like it teaches?
For me personally, I think it's better to try and make sense of it all because I'm a kind of logic kind of person. But I know lots of people that would have like never really dug deeper into like their beliefs, but they're like still completely content in following it. So I guess you don't need it, but I think it's better to have it.
I think our purpose in life here is to have a relationship with our Creator. Like from the atheist perspective, life is meaningless. Like there's no point to life. We just all start and then we die. But I think God. There's a point to this life, and that's something worth looking into, and it's a meaning that's fulfilled me and helped others as well.
I think for me, the only thing that doesn't make sense is if it isn't real, because like for me, like, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened, and the only real explanation is that that was God.
I think people who believe in it, I think it makes sense for them because I think they read it in the Bible and study it and stuff. So I suppose they know what's happening around.
On top of that, how do you rationalize religion? How do you make sense of it? Because in today's society, right, there's so many people telling us religion is not a thing, Allah or God or whatnot, right? Doesn't exist. So how do you feel about that? How do you rationalize religion in your own life and make sense of it?
Well, I don't need to rationalize it because my faith is distinct from my own reason.
So to me, like, I guess I make sense of it. Religion makes sense to me like Christianity does because of like all the claims in the Bible about like Jesus being God and doing all these miracles and stuff like that and dying and rising again. I think there's lots of proof for that, like if you really look into it. So like I think it just proves itself to me. Religion really reaches out to me and speaks to me because it's like if I was an atheist, I think I'd just be sad because like thinking like, oh, we're insignificant, life doesn't really have any meaning. There's like no reason why I can't do anything I want because I'm just gonna die one day. I just like that, like that's not for me personally. Like I like to think that I have a purpose. I was put here for a purpose. There's a right way to live your life, and that's the Christian way. But yeah, that's what I think.
So I'm sure you guys have seen and heard of the cliche, religious people just blindly following whatever like the scripture tells them, that type of thing. Yeah. So do you think it's okay for people to do that, or should they take time to like actually understand their religion?
I think people should just do whatever they want to do. If they want to believe something, even though they don't know much about it, they can do that. But at the same time, like, they should educate themselves on what they believe.
Blindly following anything isn't necessarily good. I feel like people who are kind of lost and really need like someone to kind of govern that set of rules for them, religion can definitely help. But like a lot of people nowadays are kind of individualized. Like we are kind of growing into a society where a lot of stuff's online, and it's all about kind of persona and developing like a personality and stuff like that. So I think religion definitely kind of limits your ability to kind of be yourself. But I don't think it's a bad thing to kind of follow it if it's going to help you in any way.
I think there's a lot of like backed up things on what they teach in church. Like I feel like they teach a lot of like good morals and stuff. Like I don't think that anything that they teach is like bad or like should be considered bad. Like a lot of like, I guess because in my religion I believe that like Jesus, he was like perfect and stuff, and as Christians we kind of all want to strive towards that. And I believe that it's not kind of like blind faith. It's more like faith, but like there's kind of backed up. I think as much as you should like for me, I don't think I would be a Christian unless my like parents like put me towards that path, and I'm really grateful for that. But I think as well as your parents should like lead you towards this, I think they shouldn't force you, and it should be like more that you find out and like you kind of discover that for yourself.
Well, at the end of the day, everyone's got to choose what they're going to do for themselves, because when you die on your own. whatever you believe happens after you die, it happens to you. So you got to make the decisions you choose to make in your life. I think personally, if you hold any beliefs, then that should be the thing that you question the most, because at the end of the day, that's what you're betting your life on. That's what you're choosing to think, oh, this is how I'm going to live my life, the things I'm going to do, the things I'm going to choose not to do. So you should be very, very analytical and very, very serious about that, because it's your life. You know what I mean? No one else is going to be serious about that for you. At the end of the day, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're just blindly following what everyone else is doing, then you're going to make whatever positive or negative decisions that they make, which doesn't come from you. You know what I mean? Religion and doctrine go hand in hand. The problem is that whatever religious belief it is, no matter how close to the truth it is, it's still backed by a human institution, and humans like to abuse power whenever they can, which is what we've learned throughout all of history. So the unfortunate reality is that religion goes hand in hand with bureaucracy and a structure, which means that no matter what, there's going to be some level of negative human influence in it. So what we need to do is really fully understand what all these different religions are, where they come from, and what they're really saying outside of dogma, which means you need to, if you're from a certain religion, you need to feel completely comfortable to go into another religion and learn as much as you possibly can about it.
I think they should do both. So sometimes it's comforting just to have a religion, even if they're blindly following. I think, it can instill a bit of faith in their life.
Of course, in revelations, you need people to teach people to understand. Because even if there's a revealed truths about it, if there's no one who will explain it, you cannot understand it. It's even stated in the Bible. When Pilate, I don't know, I forgot already. There's one teacher of the law want to understand this. But how can you understand if no one will teach you?
Yeah, well, it definitely helps if you understand it. You're sort of like talking about blind faith and that sort of thing, and there's certainly a lot of people that are born into and grow up into levels of indoctrination, not only just from a religious point of view or a spiritual point of view where they're doing certain things and they don't actually know why they're doing them. But at the end of the day, there's far more, there's far greater and, more, I was looking for the word here, but there's far greater traps to get caught in as far as indoctrination is concerned, whether it's from the government or from the mainstream media. And I think the spiritual aspect of it is just a minor part of that to a certain degree as well.